very good evening. Greetings from B Studios. We're here once again for the 5th official episode of 239 Football. And today, as we promised on social media and in the promotion for this show, we have a very special guest, a superstar of Naples football, Pablo Marisi. Pablo, I'm about to introduce you. First, I'm going to go in order of hierarchy because otherwise my colleagues will get upset. So let me go over there first and then I'll greet you, okay?
No worries.
Carlos, how are you? Good evening.
Good evening, Rodolfo. Thanks for coming. Pablo, but well, if we're going by hierarchy, Marce should go first, right?
Marce? All right, go ahead. How are you? Good evening.
He'll tell he presides it. I can say it.
Right? Hello? Good evening. How are we? Franco, how are you? Good evening. Hello, good.
Good evening, Pablo. Thank you for being here.
All right, we're set. Pablo, how are you? Welcome.
Well, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the invitation.
Mr. Pablo. Marisi.
You said you were going to start first because of age, right? Yes.
Of course. Yes. Of course. Pablo Marisi, and gentlemen, in case anyone doesn't know him, captain, star player, Naples United player, and he's going to be here with us for a while on the show today. So it's a pleasure to have you.
Likewise. It's a pleasure to be here chatting a bit about football with you all.
All right, very good. Later, I'll leave you with the experts so you can talk a bit about football and what Naples United is, the academies and everything. But since Pablo is going to join us, guys, what do you think if we start going over some of the topics for the show? So, Pablo can get involved with us. People in the chat can write in. You can ask Pablo questions. All right, gentlemen, let's get started a bit. Pablo, let's talk. I know you played a friendly match last Wednesday against FPSI Naples, and we'll be talking about that soon. Later on, I have a picture that was sent to me of a penalty that happened there too. You played in that match, right?
I was there.
You were there. All right, we'll talk more about that later on. But FC Naples played in the USL 1 over the weekend, and we have the highlights here. Devin, whenever you're ready. But anyway, they lost what we were talking about last week. They lost the match they couldn't afford to lose, unfortunately. Like we said, Portland was 10 points behind, but they had 3 games in hand. So now they're only 6 points behind.
Yeah, they managed to close the gap a bit. And, well, I still maintain that we have a great chance, and I'm sure we're going to qualify for the playoffs. That's already a given. But yes, we're going to keep home advantage, at least for the first game. Now, things are a little tighter, but I'm sure in the next match on Saturday against FC Naples, which is here at Paredi at home, the team will go all out and take all 3 points.
Look at the field, Pablo. It's confusing, isn't it? I've seen you. It's happened to you before, too.
And when the American football lines are on the field, it's really difficult.
For the
defense, it's good. For the defense, it's good. For pressing high up the pitch, it's also good. Up to the 20-yard line, up to the 35.
For the assistant, for Lin. Very good. Because he's a referee too, Pablo.
The problem is that sometimes the lines aren't even marked. In this case today, you couldn't even see them. Yeah.
I read a little red card.
It's confirmed. Because they are apparently the exact same color, just look closely at them.
There are
5 lines, the
Same color, one black, another red. It helps you.
Mark the 10 meters, whatever, that's all. But
Yes. It helps the referee, the line judges. But honestly, Delgado, how many did he save? What a great ball Delgado saved there. He really did save it. But
if he could, it ended 3-0.
yes. But Naples, didn't really have its own unique situations either. Portland is indeed a very good team and playing quite strongly at home, but Naples certainly had its own particular thing going on too. Their goal was a penalty, which we'll see now. There's no doubt about it. There are many people in the
Rodo Stadium, Pablo.
full.
Beautiful.
Yes. It's true. Nice.
hold on, really.
Yes, it really is. And well, our beloved hometown team will also undoubtedly need the unwavering support of their dedicated fans in the crucial remaining home games over the last 6 intense games. It truly seems to me that a significant penalty is indeed coming here. It's been a relentless succession of powerful shots. They had them firmly on the ropes, and there were numerous rebounds, and they absolutely had to take it out now, pal. And here comes Esico. There can be so many people. Dengler dives trying to block, and it hits his hand. His hand is open in an unnatural position. The ball was going towards the goal. There's not much to argue about by the rules. Nowadays, those handballs are penalized. He stops it. We'll see it better there.
Yes, that's what you 2 specialists are here for.
It's also a clear handball. 3 specialists, 4 to argue. We can't talk about that, Marcelo.
Let's see. For you, it's a penalty, Pablo.
For you too, Rodolfo. But what about you, Franco, David? Do you
Argue about it?
Right? It depends. If they call it against me, I argue it. But I argue just so they'll give me something later, Ah,
Look,
nice philosophy.
There are those kinds too. You know what catches my attention about that play, Franco? The yellow card he gave him? I think so. I don't think he gave it for the handball itself, but rather for Dengler's reaction, like when he throws the ball in a sort of protest, and that's how he gets the yellow card. And that's going to cost him dearly later, because in the second half, he gets sent off for a second yellow card. We always say, Pablo Carlos, that usually when you get sent off for a double yellow card, it's almost always the very first one that is truly to blame, like 90% of the entire time in most situations. Because it's always for
For yellow for the penalty, I don't know.
That's why I say, for me, it's not for the penalty. For me, it's for the protest. The way he protests to the referee and throws the ball angrily, as if saying the whole referee is
The duck and
wants to take it away, and that's it. He's dressed in yellow, a duck, that's what we call them. Well, we have our issues with referees
To
who wear very bright yellow uniforms, and sometimes we do quite often have significant issues. I really don't know how.
they don't keep coming out like always from January on.
I've always thought since,
You want to be the absolute protagonist of the game. That's when
but that's truly the main issue, I believe. I mean,
I love it because Christian doesn't answer you back. But I let it go because it's still...
on both sides, so it's still up in the air. But anyway, he knows what I'm talking about.
but I don't answer him because I don't feel alluded to. But not at all, really, no. For me, the only thing I'm going to say to you is
moment they put a sponsor on them, on the referees, things went downhill.
no, 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 no. Look, do you know which one? Pablo won't let me lie about this. What's the worst sin, the worst mistake a referee can make? Being a referee. For starters, which one? Ego. Ego. When someone believes they're above the players or the show itself, that's it, it's over. Normally, that's something that the host of the entire show would typically say.
But anyway, the reality is that we're hoping this Saturday they'll bounce back from this defeat. FC Naples will surely
Get back on track, because I'm sure it's going to.
be that way. We invite everyone. The guys from the Doces and Nueres supporters groups are waiting to throw a big party and support the team. Saturday, 7 p.m. here at Paradise.
Yes, the team still has very good chances indeed. They are quite strong. Look, Pablo, they're in fourth place with 41 points, but they've played 2 more games than Portland, the team that just beat them.
Yes, but the difference is only 4 points right now.
No, the difference. Let's see, hold on. No, it's 41 to 37.
Right.
So it's possible. Of course, if Portland wins both of their games in hand, they lose that fourth place spot. But Portland still has to play against the second and third place teams, right? That's why they still have to play against Union Oas, who's in 7th place. So it's not easy for them either. And then they have to play against Alta.
But wait, there's also another way to look at this table. Let's see, how far are they from third and second place? Right, they're just 1 point behind. Just 1 point, so depending on how you look at it, whether the glass is half full or half empty, you have more games to play. I've already said it.
On the previous show, and I can almost say it with confidence, FK Napoli is going to play the playoffs at home here. Hopefully.
Let's hope so. I didn't take that risk. I didn't go that far because anything can happen. They're all really close in the standings. They needed to at least tie this game they lost, but well, it just didn't happen. It couldn't be done. Now we have to win on Saturday at 7 in the evening.
That's right, at a packed Paradise.
Home at Paradise.
Let's talk a bit, because even if Rodolfo doesn't like it, well, his hometown, Pablo Marisi's too, is the city of Casilda, right? Pablo, if I'm not mistaken, at least that's how I remember you many years ago when you were just starting your successful career. Surely, if I ask you to name 3 people from the area, other players, coaches, I'm sure there are a ton, but
From all the generations that have come out of both Naval and Central, from history, so many have been trained there in Rosario. Really a lot, right? Now, from Messi and Di Maria and before, the Argentine national team has been supplied with a huge number of players who have come not only from Rosario, as Pio says, but also from Casilda and the whole area in general. What is the south of Santa Fe is a region with a ton of players.
talking a bit about you, Pablo, tell us a little about your journey as a professional player, and let's go through it to get to where you are today, both as a player and as a coach at the Naples United Academy.
Well, to sum it up a bit, I started my career at Newell's in Rosario. I'm actually from Casilda, and I grew up and played for my hometown team, Apprentices. I have to mention them because they were the ones who developed me. Then I went to Newell's when I was 16 years old, and I spent about 4 or 5 years there.
We're watching some of Pablo's goals at Naples side.
Naplele, yes, that was 2 years ago. Well, and I played in practically every division of Argentine football, both professional and semi-professional. Then I played abroad. I was in Paraguay, I was in the Dominican Republic, I was in Peru. in
Dominican Republic. Win? No.
in the Dominican Republic. I won the championship 3 years in a row with 3 different teams.
Very good.
Yes, it was quite a lot. My time in the Dominican Republic was really good. I came here after the pandemic in 2021. I stayed for a while, then went back. In 2022, I played in Paraguay for Sportivo Luqueño, and then I came back again in 2023, and since last year I've been living here. Who did you have?
As your coach there at Luqueño.
At Luqueño, I had Miguel Angel Sasu, an Argentine coach who has coached internationally, quite well known in Bolivia. He had coached me in the Dominican Republic, and with him, I was in Peru several times. We've crossed paths. He's called me to join several teams. It didn't work out before, but finally it happened there. At Luqueño, which was also good, things went well, really well. Let's see if there are people in the chat who want to ask questions.
What exact sporting position do you play?
Now I play as an attacking midfielder.
As best as you can.
When I was younger, I was a midfielder, always getting into the box. Later, as I grew older, they put me further forward. I started scoring goals, and well, if you score goals, they keep you up front. So I became an attacking midfielder, and that's where I've stayed.
Attacking midfielder.
But I also like to play a bit deeper. Well,
But you're also coaching here. How do you say coach? What division do you have? What kids? What age group? Tell us a little about the Naples United project.
Who's asking what position he plays? Do you have the name there so we can give him an identity, Mateo? Well, very good.
right, the coaching or being a coach was something I've always carried inside me since I was very young, and I liked it. And now for 4 or 5 years, maybe a bit more, I started the course. I did the coaching course in Argentina at the Menotti School. Well, always. I've always been passionate about it. It was what I was most passionate about. And from that perspective, it wasn't that when I stopped playing professionally, let's say, I always looked at it from that side, because honestly, what I feel and what I'm passionate about is coaching. And well, when I had the opportunity to come here and join Naples United, I started, and since last year now I have the older teams, U15, U17, and U19.
Now, why referee?
The referee thing is something that
Defective.
yes, I have to, honestly, the
Economic need. The referee has to be the center referee. Goalkeeper. Honestly,
it's something I never would have done in Argentina. It wouldn't have even crossed my mind, because we have a very dismissive view of referees, as we can talk about here. Yes. Then, well, here I did it just to try it out at first, to see what it was like, and in a way, I ended up liking it. It didn't convince you.
For those two, yellow card.
Is the prejudice against referees also very different in South America compared to here? Not me. Honestly, I don't have any experience as a referee. I've done it and I like it because it's an activity that's connected to football. But like I said, I think here it's very different from how we see it in South America. And well, that's the perspective I took.
But it's very important, indeed crucial, for a player like Pablo, or really for any dedicated player, to know all the various facets of the entire game. And a referee, of course, is an integral part of the game.
sorry, speaking of that, is it possible, just to be clear, is it possible to get a certain advantage
But an advantage by
knowing so much about the rules? Because as a referee, did you ever take advantage of that at some point? Like,
No. Honestly, I don't know. I suppose that the player's rule book, or I understand that the player should know it from the start. If you're already playing at a professional or semi-professional level, let's say at an older age, or from about 17 onwards, you have to know the rules properly. It's just logical. What it does help you understand, being on the other side, is that you start to get the referee's mindset. You know when something is going to be a foul. The player knows when they've committed a foul.
how to talk to the referee. Exactly. There are a ton of
Situations that you learn to handle, but it's like everything else too. Me being a footballer as an adult, I also came to understand a lot of game situations that obviously you don't get when you're a kid.
but give me a second, Aper, so you should take a referee course instead, because I get tired of seeing you argue with them. Poor guys, you know. Then, well, another
Question from the chat. Question from Brian Martins. Pablo, how do you see the progress of soccer in the United States, and particularly in Naples? How do you see it?
Good question. Well, Naples has truly grown a whole lot indeed. Like I said, I first personally came here to this vibrant city in the year 2021, and I've been living here quite comfortably for a good 2 years now. So I genuinely know the entire environment. I am familiar with all the local clubs, and I am also well acquainted with all the various academies you see. Since the arrival of FC Naples, the academies have grown a lot too. You can really see it. It has grown tremendously, and that's really good. I notice it everywhere, really, in football in general. Like the question says, in all the categories in MLS, if you look at today's MLS and compare it to 5 years ago, I think it's grown a lot in every category, and that's really important.
Yes, and now we have, well, the Galactico who's also playing in MLS next. And well, that also helps to gradually increase the competitiveness in the region. It seems to me that in this past year, there's been a really significant and noticeable upward shift in everything related to the kids, the young youth players, and of course, what's still truly missing is that crucial consolidation, so that when these talented kids reach the appropriate age for first division or full adulthood, perhaps 19 or even 20 years old, they can already play at a very high and competitive level, just like you do. Even in the UPSL, like Carlos or the dedicated guys from Calusa. I mean, these are teams from right around here, so that you can really see that impressive leap in quality from the excellent work being done at the grassroots level, so they can proudly show it once they're fully developed adults.
Yes, exactly, that's right. I see a lot of growth. I think that soccer has surely taken a lot of kids away from other sports in the area or in the country in general. And maybe, like you said, and maybe Carlos understands this a bit more, there could be a bit of a gap in the older age groups. Yes, also in the development and with the older players who, obviously, as happens everywhere, tend to drop out a bit because of age, university, college, and so on. Still, Pablo, sorry.
For interrupting you there. At that time, the projects at Naples United involved a lot of players from outside, from Miami, from Argentina, who came to be able to compete and be on par with teams at the national level in the IMPSL. Today, practically any team is very competitive in the UPCL, in the IMPL, with the best local players from Naples being assembled.
Yes, that's right. And you were talking about the significant growth and the sheer number of sports complexes and dedicated soccer fields that have been meticulously built. And even so, despite all these efforts, there is still absolutely no availability whatsoever. All the complexes are packed. During the week, they're full of kids going to train at different academies. You, as coaches, well, each of you has your own place. Let's say a spot where you can train, but you know it's hard to find training fields. The infrastructure has also become too small, but because of the growth that's happened, I think it also has a lot to do with Messi's arrival and everything, the boom and the World Cup that's going to be held here. Everything is contagious, isn't it?
Without a doubt, without a doubt. No, that's a problem that I don't think has yet arisen as such, but as I've talked to many Miami coaches have mentioned to me that it's impossible to find a field in Miami. And here we're getting to that point too, because today, as you say, it's impossible to get a field, or the academies also need to expand, and it's very difficult.
And with Naples United, now that you are actively training and diligently playing friendlies, how is the overall situation there? What is the current status and atmosphere within the team and organization?
With the first team. With the first team, we finished playing in the NPL, as usual in the fall, which is a break period. Last year, we played a local tournament, the SU Sunshine Conference League, with mostly local teams from Fort Myers. And well, right now, we're not doing, let's say, there isn't really a team as such. Yes, we have the second team, which is the team we put together, made up of the academy boys from the teams I manage, under 17 and under 19. And this year and last year, both years, they've competed in the NL as well with a second team that was global. So with that team, what we do with those boys is keep them playing, because now the academy tournament is starting again, so they keep playing in the league. And in the summer, we kept them playing in the NPSL with the second team.
I don't know what you all think about Messi's arrival and everything that Inter Miami has generated. Yes, that's spreading throughout the area. We're about an hour and some from Miami. Plus, as we talked about with Andy last Wednesday, Messi's arrival has brought in other renowned players, and a team that previously didn't have that kind of prominence is now being watched by everyone. Sometimes the kids have this expectation, thinking, well, one day I want to play there, which maybe didn't happen before. I mean, Inter Miami has existed for many years, but it didn't have this reputation. So sometimes the kids look up and say, well, I'm here, I'm close. Why couldn't I make it there?
Right? Exactly. Lionel Messi's momentous arrival is truly a profound revolution from every conceivable point of view, for the entire league, for the Major League Soccer organization, and for American professional soccer in general. Like you said, 3 years ago, Messi wasn't here and nobody was watching Inter Miami. The kids, maybe saw it as a local team, but nobody even aspired to it. And now all the kids from around here dream of playing for Inter Miami. In fact, I know and I'm aware that there are many kids who travel from Naples to Miami to train. I know kids who are very young and travel 2 or 3 times a week to train in Miami, things that you didn't see before. On one hand, that's truly great for the overall development of the sport, for all the dedicated players, and for absolutely everything that the incredible Lionel Messi attracts. Messi doesn't just simply move the entire Major League Soccer, he genuinely makes everything around it come vibrantly alive as well. Starting next year, after the World Cup, the USL is going to introduce a promotion and relegation system, which means there will be a major revolution in football overall.
How important are promotion and relegation? Because here, we're not used to that.
Right? Well, Pablo kind of shares our opinion. In the football we come from, that's exactly what gives equality and the chance for teams without big budgets to make that leap in quality by working hard, investing in long-term projects with good players developed by the club and not just bringing in a lot of players. That way, you reward those who do things right, and by relegating, you punish those who do things wrong. But here, we know that clubs are private companies with a lot of interest involved. Hopefully, as Pablo said, and as we've also heard, the USL is looking to finalize that promotion and relegation project. Well, let's hope the federation and everyone involved allow it to happen, because honestly, I think that's the only thing missing for this to really take that next step in quality.
And they want to change it already for 2027.
Yes, but we know that the USL and MLS are two different companies, two separate leagues, and that's the direction things are heading. Let's hope they achieve it.
It would be good to level things out a bit with what's happening in the rest of the world. Also, for me, a truly serious and significant issue is that young kids simply cannot head the soccer ball until after they have reached the age of 12 full years old. That, in my opinion, is a truly huge and substantial problem, which the United States Soccer Federation will most certainly have to deal with legally and quite thoroughly. We touched on what we talked about last Wednesday. Yes, but I wanted to bring up this topic with you because now that you're also involved as a coach and with the academies and everything, I see kids who reach first division age, 19, 20, 21 years old, and they don't know how to head the ball.
No, absolutely. It's just something that if you didn't do it as a kid, honestly, I was also surprised when I got here and found out about that. I couldn't understand it. And now, as an adult, I see kids who were trained elsewhere. The willingness they have to jump for a ball, and obviously there's a big difference compared to a kid who started heading the ball at 14 or 15 years old.
Of course, because it affects everything. It's not just about heading the ball, it's about going for it, aerial duels, how you use your body, it's everything. It's everything. Which means that if you don't know how to do it because you didn't learn as a kid, most likely you'll lose the majority of aerial duels.
Well, Mateo says he thinks Neymar should come here. I don't think so, because if he comes here, he'll join Inter Miami and he'll end up injured. So let's talk a bit about Inter Miami. What happened?
Since you mentioned Messi, we were talking about Inter Miami. I want Pablo to join us for a bit so we can see what happened in the win by Miami's pink team, which is also getting back on track, just like Evie. Naples has a couple of games in hand compared to the others, and they're still in the fight, because if they win those pending matches, they'll be in the top spots in their group and could secure home advantage for the playoffs. Look, now we fixed it, 4-2, now that's better. Now it's a different story, right, Pablo? I'm telling you.
Those are journalists who set up the tactical system, but then they're not like... The players aren't just little pieces or images on the field. No, let's take a look.
The other day we were talking, like he said.
Coco CL.
They move around and, well, you have to see how they defend. Look, Gus.
Look, Gustari let it slip, but he's a good guy. Yeah, but he's a goalkeeper, so don't defend him because you go home, right? And
On top of that, you in New Way.
And well, what we are going to see in this detailed report is basically the very last match they actually won. And look, Franco is playing once again now. There's Allende's first incredible goal, but Leo's pass is truly unbelievable. Really, it's absolutely incredible.
What a topic to talk about. The MLS defenses.
Inter Miami won 4-0 today against Nasser.
They won 4-0, so now they're much better positioned in the standings.
But this...
Look at these defenses, and I want to analyze this too. Look at Falcon. I mean, Franco just said, not Neymar, don't let him come to Inter Miami. They keep buying forwards, and the defense, we're underestimating the defense because look, every time we pause, it's because, look at Falcon. Look where he goes out again, the defender with the long hair. Look, he steps out. I mean, Because the team is out of position, he goes out to cover on the outside, leaving the center of the box unprotected.
They're missing a smaller defender who can run because the wingers here are really fast. So now, unless you tell me he scores a header in every match like Battaglia, for example, someone like that, I don't know. That never happens. They never get there. But this just goes right over them.
It's black and white. This changes everything because from midfield forward, there are people like this guy who gets the ball, who...
Yes, the forwards and the people who play in attack, who work in attack. I mean, it's much easier in the MLS, Pablo. That's the reality. In South American football, in European football, marking is much more aggressive. The spaces aren't like these. Here, I see terrible mistakes. I mean, defensive, individual, collective, but well, too.
Let the guest say it. You who have been in a league, not exactly a strange one, but at least outside the orbit of what is well known, like in the Dominican Republic. And here you see a certain permissiveness, more freedom. If you want to move,
What you see here, you don't see anywhere else, but it happens in every category of football here. I don't know if it's because of the idiosyncrasy of football here, but something else surprises me even more, something stranger. I've seen players who come from Argentine football, because the defenders here aren't all American. It's not just about being American or South American. Falcon, as he mentioned, is Uruguayan, and he gets influenced, and in Uruguayan football, they go in hard. Yes.
Of course, but indeed,
I don't know why here. I think you don't see coverage. You see...
the level of the people they bring up front compared to the people they bring in other positions is different because, I mean, if you tell me they brought in Messi, Suarez, De Paul now, and they're always reinforcing the attack. A year or so ago, Sergio Ramos came to Mexico. I mean, that's the kind of caliber of players I'm talking about. Yes.
But I think that looking at it as a coach, it also has to do with the team's overall approach. I wouldn't want to be a center back on an MLS team because I've seen teams where both fullbacks push up high to midfield, leaving the center backs to defend and
Play it again. We'll watch the footage more than once. I mean, the two center backs are defending one-on-one against the two forwards, but it goes both ways because I also can't understand the freedom they give Messi. Messi goes offside, he goes offside, and they just let him go. They let him go. Oh, they just let the goal happen for...
Allende, the pass from behind the halfway line.
of course, but Messi has the ball under control at midfield and the four defenders who are...
They go off. Look, they go offside. They let him go. He gets away. They get involved. The play comes back to him again. And that's it. You can't catch him anymore. I mean, look, it goes both ways. Inter Miami also defends with those kinds of gaps. But so do Inter's forwards. And if among those forwards you have Messi, you have Suarez, you have De Paul, obviously you're going to make a difference. But it seems like this happens across the board. Across the board?
Yes, generally you see it in all levels of soccer in the United States. You see it in the U.S. Championship, in USL 1, in the Premier League, and further down. Wherever you look, you see the same weaknesses.
Yes, I don't know what Carlos and Pablo think, but in my opinion, this all looks great, spectacular, now that we're in the regular season. But when the real moment comes, in the playoffs, a tough team that defends well, that's where the problem is.
That's the problem with Inter Miami. They score 3 or 4 goals a game, that's fine. But when they face a serious match in the playoffs, that's it. They're out.
It happened at Atlanta.
Dear. That's right.
I always maintain that in decisive moments, finals, in other words, in crucial matches like the playoffs here in the league, in tournaments, in World Cups, when you reach the final stages, what ends up happening is that the teams that defend well are the ones that prevail.
Yeah.
I mean, not the ones who attack better, but the ones who defend well. If you keep a clean sheet, you'll always have some chance to score. There will always be a set piece. You'll always have something. But if you know how to defend, you'll definitely do much better than your opponent in those situations. Well, but here you see it a lot. I mean, we see a lot of freedom here. But I think it has a bit to do with the show. People here like matches that end 6-4 or 6-5. And in that sense, it's a bit like Mexican football. But for me, give me a 1-0 match, well played until the last minute, where both teams defended well, were tough, tactically organized, a tactical battle between the two coaches, and the game was decided by a single detail. That makes me happy too. But here, people seem to enjoy those 7-8, 7-5 games.
Which one? No, of course, I also profoundly believe and think that the overall comprehensive work of the entire team is exceptionally important, the meticulous organization and strategic planning, and as Carlos just very aptly said, in those absolutely crucial and decisive moments of the game. The teams that consistently defend exceptionally well and with great discipline tend to ultimately prevail and achieve success. And defending well doesn't mean we're talking about defending with 10 players. There are teams that defend perfectly with just 4 or 5 players. And well, those are generally the teams that take center stage.
Hey, Nico Palombo, how are you? Thank you very much for meeting us. We look forward to speaking with you.
Noch so. We are, of course,
It turns out well.
I think River played much better because they shortened their lines, this space between the lines, and they were far superior. They couldn't get hold of the ball. We didn't really create any more chances, but the first half was very similar to what the first half was like, the Monumental in favor of Palmeiras. And the second half, we started off similarly. In the first half, we lost the ball a bit in the second half, and then the match evened out a bit, but without any real chances from them. They had more space because RR went out looking for it, leaving themselves more exposed, and that's it. They were mistakes like the ones we've been making lately, which are decisive. But today, you could really see a team, a true Libertadores team.
Let me ask you about this failure. First of all, this is not Gallardo's failure. Second, it's a total failure of the world champions defense. And third, the worst transfer window, you ran out of legs, Maestro. But you're going to play the Libertadores, not just play it for the sake of it. The transfer market
For Pais has been Gallardo's choice, and that's how things are. So he failed.
So Gallardo failed then. Can we put that as a headline, please, production? Did Gallardo fail then?
I do not personally sell securities, but perhaps it was a significant failure of choice and a distinct lack of proper control. For me, when Marcelo Gallardo specifically asks to return to River Plate, but then demands total and complete control, that is precisely where he makes a considerable error. I'm losing the program.
Nicole, thank you very much.
Nico, thanks for the contact and the report. Very good everything. Your thinking is always very clear.
Your thoughts. Christian is here too, saying no, it has to be Gallardo. And there are already many River fans who are wary of Gallardo. And the same thing will happen to Riquelme at Boca.
If Riquelme hadn't been such a bad president as he is now, it would be a different story for River. But anyway.
Go ahead, play it. Let's see. Look, this is a corner kick. A corner kick in favor of FC Naples. Arrow killer.
The good thing about the corner is that you can't see the ball. He kicks it.
Yeah, of course. Look how it goes up, right? But right there where the red arrow was, and over there where the player is down, look, at the far post, at the farthest post, here, the defender is the one in blue, and the referee called a penalty. That's why I don't know what the score was. I don't know if that was a tie or what, but I can't see anything. And I don't know what. No?
I don't know how many minutes in. The match was 2-0. We were winning 2-0 at that point. That was the penalty that Ian Cerro scored to make it 2-1.
See, it's a... Now, I don't know. Let's see if you can rewind it a bit. Guys, what we need to look at here are the guidelines for referees. Where is the ball going? The ball is going to the moon. The ball is going to the moon and to the substitutes bench.
That has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with it. He threw a punch. He didn't call a penalty for me. No, that's
It's already aggression.
that. But obviously he was winning, right? Because of Unite and Pablo. And well, FC Nel. That was a party. The result was perfect for the celebration. 2-2, both teams calm. Both clubs at ease, and that's it. That's what was convenient. Now this is
Something else. That goal kick. Goal kick, he takes it, the goalkeeper gets it, and then double touch. What happens? Red card. It's a clear red, because it's a clear goal scoring opportunity. Nowadays, that's a red card. What's the controversy? The controversy is the defender who looks at her.
Like, do you want me to do something?
There's not much controversy. These are just plays that people send us to analyze this. This happened in Argentina. Look, Instituto versus Independiente. A referee who, oh my goodness. Well, I think Logbo Medina is on the list, on the blacklist. Look, there's a header back. The goalkeeper comes out, grabs him. Where does he grab him? Inside. He goes outside, steals it from him. But it was already done. He called it. He gave a yellow card. Okay, here they argued whether you called a handball. They argued whether it was a red card, a clear red, clear goal-scoring opportunity. No, but where does he grab it?
outside.
The line is part inside. The line is part of the inside of the area. The line is part of the area. I have my doubts. Look, it's touching the line. The ball is touching the line when the goalkeeper makes contact with his hands.
And the decision, because in the end, he calls a free kick and the match ends.
Yes. That's the worst part. That's the worst part. And look, here it is. So since he doesn't know how to get rid of the problem, what did I do? I called something that wasn't there, maybe from the VAR. That's how you guys are. Maybe from the VAR, they're telling him, look, it was inside. Look, it wasn't a handball. Now he calls the assistants, calls the captains. What happened? I've never seen this before. Honestly, I've never seen this before.
What?
What is he going to tell them, gentlemen? He calls them to tell them that the free kick won't be taken.
He shouldn't be able to referee another game. There's my friend, the black man from the chest.
Tell me what? Please, Pablo, tell me exactly what.
And the bar in this case, in many cases, I don't know now. In many cases, it also confuses.
Let's see what's in cha. That's how we are. Sometimes you,
Benefit, perish you.
Santiago Riquelme, big ball of smoke. Very well, Santiago. Yes, let's see what we're going to fulfill. Let's see about what we promised. Liga Milo, 10th round. Cruz Azul and Querétaro tied 2-2, and Tigres is beating Atlas 2-0. 15 minutes left. Toluca just started. They're losing at home to Monterrey. Later, San Luis plays against America, and Santos faces Tijuana. Last night, Chivas beat Necaxa. Gago's team just can't get anything right, poor Gagito.
Yeah, well, Necaxa's situation is kind of
Kind of,
weird. It's already a whole show with a woman president.
but anyway.
Who makes statements that make you go, oh my God?
But I say those things need to be taught a lesson. Things come back to you. I say those things come back to you. And the way Gago left Chivas to go running after Riquelme, both Gago and Riquelme are paying for it. It was obvious that things would go badly for both of them. And I'm glad.
No, don't be mean. Don't be happy about that. Yes, because you just don't do those things.
You just don't do those things. And those things get paid for on the field. And the same thing is happening to Gallardo. And I said that from the beginning too. And it's not because it's River or because it's Gallardo or anything like that. Because what they did to De Michelis is something you just don't do. Those things come back to you. Do you remember?
When they said Gallardo was going to coach PSG and then Real Madrid, now they can't even direct traffic. Well,
But you believe, just like I do, that there's justice. And we'll see there at La Boca, right? Some
Cases, yes, no, obviously these are specific cases. Each of the cases you mentioned is also different. In the case of looking at it as a player, as a coach, the players and coaches, as professionals, have legally binding contracts. Contracts have various clauses and specific stipulations, and you also make significant choices and decisions. And you also, Fierro, as a dedicated and committed coach, if circumstances were to unfortunately go badly for you, you would certainly...
Pablo, that's fine. But to lie straight to everyone's face, saying, no, I have nothing, I'm staying here, I have a contract, I haven't talked to anyone, I have nothing, and then the next day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm leaving. You just slam the door on your way out. Right, that's it.
What happened with Go was a complete series of mistakes, starting from the statement where he could have just said, I'm not going to talk about the subject. In fact, he doesn't have to talk about it. If he's working at Chivas, he doesn't have to talk about another team. Look at that.
look, it was the same thing with Martinez at Boca.
When everyone didn't.
That thing with Martinez, it was the same. And with Almiron, it was the same too.
And your idol, Riquelme, as long as he keeps stealing coaches from other teams, things are going to keep going badly for him. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, because that's just not how things are done. You can take a coach from another team, but you have to do it differently. Sit down, talk, make an offer, say, I'll give you this, I'll compensate you, I'll loan you 2 players, right? But calling behind the scenes and saying, come over, they don't pay you well at that team, I'll pay you more. That kind of thing is very...
Well informed. How do you know that didn't happen? For example, with Rowe and San Lorenzo, that's what happened. They were given financial compensation and other things. Ah, right, but you guys don't know about that. And a clause, like Pablo said, anyone who has ever signed a professional contract as a coach or a player, at least Pablo did and I did too. There's a clause and you guys are not going to find out about it. The press doesn't have to know about that clause. We find out about everything.
Don't worry, we find out about everything. We find out about everything. The thing with San Loren is
The compensation. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to pay it, but
we find out the team lineups before you coaches do. So don't underestimate journalists because we find out everything when we want to, right? And sometimes we find out and we don't say anything. But anyway, let's see. We read. Let's see. Mariana, relax, Marci, we've already read that. Mateo. No, penalty. Very good, Mateo. Mariana, happy hour segment. Well, Caro, honestly,
It wouldn't be a bad idea. Unina Rutia sends her regards too. I think all those people were the ones who were there. Can we go?
to the stands, she says. Of course they can come, of course. If you are referring to whether they can come here, yes, of course you can come here whenever you want. Always bring something.
To eat and something to drink and you will be welcome.
Invictos, so they can come. Brian Martins, the controversy segment was very good. Thanks, Brian. The soldier's always firm. Santiago Racing and say that's true. Congratulations. Racing, who beat Vélez and is now in the semifinals. So, that's good. Mateo Mariana writing in. Excellent show. Well, excellent show, really. We owe you a lot. not the
The whole show owes it to him. Are you gonna let go
little bit.
Relax. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Anytime it's to talk about football, it's a pleasure. So,
Well, honestly, you contributed a lot. The kids here in the area follow you, respect you, watch you, and I think today you shared some very clear ideas. And well, the idea of this show, this podcast, is to contribute a little to the growth of soccer in the area. So I congratulate you. I congratulate you for everything you're doing. And thank you so much again for coming all the way here to B Studios and sharing this hour of football with us.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Franco, we are heading out now.
good night.
Before we go, let me send a greeting and a birthday wish. Ariel, and also happy birthday to Marcelo Micale. We're going to be celebrating this weekend. Lots of birthdays. It's a month full of birthdays, and
I want to congratulate you. I was going to do it at the beginning of the show, but in the end, with Pablo arriving early, everything changed. But I want to congratulate you for the Argentine party on Saturday. A total success. A total success. I was there. It was amazing. It's been a long time since I had so much fun, since I had such a good time. And
I'm surprised because referees are so strict. They always talk about it. No, but
they didn't let you in because it wasn't. He can speak like an Argentine. He didn't want to go to the party. He didn't let her go to the party. But anyway, we're still recovering from the poor guy.
the only thing I want to say is one thing, just one thing. He makes me say hi when it's my birthday on November 1st.
Perfect. My birthday is October 9th.
Yes.
So anyway, thank you, Pablo. We're wrapping up now so we can go because I'm really hungry. They're waiting for me at home.
we're leaving, folks. Thank you very much. Tomorrow. This same program in English tomorrow, Thursday. We'll see you all in Spanish next Wednesday, always at 9:30 at night, Florida time, Eastern time. And to everyone who follows us on social media, today we missed out on a lot of Ballon d'Or talk. The Ballon d'Or that Dembele won against Lamine Yamal, we missed out on that, but hey, it was worth it. We're left out of all the local leagues, UPCL, the Living On League, but you can follow everything on our YouTube channels, and there are videos of local leagues there too. So greetings, Naples. See you next Wednesday. Thank you. Bye-bye. Transform your ideas into unique experiences. Audiovisual production, photography, streaming, and events in the heart of Naples. Discover more at www.bitudio.com. Come for following us on Instagram and join our community.
Anthony Riccici Masonry, with more than 30 years of experience providing high-quality masonry work. If you're looking for construction finishes, we are your solution. We offer you quality in your projects, both interior and exterior. Anthony Riccici Masonry, supporting soccer in Naples.
Contact us at 239-450-4470.
LG Home Team. Thinking about selling your house? Sell or buy your home with confidence at LG Home Team. Professional aesthetic preparation, professional staging that transforms your property. High-quality photography. Official sponsor of 239 Football Naples. One Way Auto Care, your trusted workshop in Naples, Florida. Maintenance, repairs, and diagnostics with the best personalized service. Your car always safe, fast, and in the best hands. Learn more at One Way UK. With Collier Builders Group CBG Naples, your ally in high-standard residential remodeling and design in Naples, Florida. We create custom-made spaces with excellence and style, thinking of every detail and every home. This project is presented by 239 Football Naples.
CGPS Accounting Service in the heart of Golden Gate. More than 15 years offering accounting and tax services, taxes, bookkeeping, payroll, notary services, and more. Call us at 239-434-740 or on WhatsApp at 239-449-0316. CGPS Accounting Service, proud sponsor of 239 Football Naples.
Six Sigma Roofing. Specialists in roofing, construction, and remodeling throughout Florida. Protect your home with quality, trust, and fast solutions for every need. Learn more at Sigma Roofing. This message is brought to you thanks to 239 Football Naples.
At Super Soccer, we live and breathe soccer. Footwear, gear for teams, fan merchandise, and custom uniforms. Now you can print your name and personalize your uniform to represent your team in style. Super Soccer, sponsor of 239 Football.
The Gulf Coast Adult Soccer League is the adult soccer league in Naples. Games are played at North Collier Regional Park. 7-a-side soccer for men, women, and co-ed teams with categories from 18 up to 60 years old. If you're looking to compete, have fun, and connect with soccer lovers of any age, this is your league, 239 Football and Golf. Coati Adult Soccer League, supporting soccer in Naples.
Black Mangrove Woodworks, specialists in wood and metal design and fabrication for residential and commercial projects. From tables and counters to unique decorative structures, everything is handmade with premium quality. Black Mangrove Woodworks, artisan design and fabrication in wood and metal. manviewedworks.com, official sponsor of 239 Football Naples.
Argentinos Naples Club, a cultural space for the Argentine community in Naples. They organize events, cultural parties, traditional food, and live bands. Join this passion on Instagram and Facebook.